Overcoming fear and anxiety is some real shit. Not gonna lie to you, but you can do it, and I'm right here with you, and let's talk about it. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Divine Healing with Love channel. I am Nicole. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I love you all so much. Welcome back to my capital LOVE tribe. I love you all so much. So I want to talk to you today about fear and anxiety. And I'm bringing up both of these, even though they're both really heavy. I'm bringing up both of these at the same time in this particular video because I feel like they're almost twins, you know? I mean, fear and anxiety, they're like right there together. And, you know, that's something that I've struggled with. And I'm still like I always tell you all, if you watch my videos, you know, my capital LOVE tribe, you already know. I told you, these are things that I'm right there with you. These are the same things that I'm still dealing with as well as you. And, you know, I'm working through it and it gets easier, but, you know, it hasn't always been easy. But I'm here to share the wisdom to help you. So hopefully you can overcome it, because it's like day by day, I'm still overcoming it. You know, it still pops back up. And I've gotten better with overcoming it at this point. I have my process now. So let's just talk about it. All right. So for one, I always knew that I had issues with fear, but I didn't know that I had issues with anxiety. That didn't come out for me until, it's actually a funny story how this happened. So I went to the dentist. This was about 2 years ago. And I actually switched my dentist. I was going to one dentist for a long amount of time, and then I just decided to switch. So I went to the new dentist, and the dentist is doing, you know, like the oral exam. And so she's like, oh, I see, you know, by looking at your teeth, I see that you like to clench your teeth. And so I was like, yeah, I think I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I think I do that at night. I don't know, I guess. And so she's just like, yeah, okay. So she's like, I'm going to show you in the x-rays. So she like goes in deeper with this. And she's like, you can see here on the x-rays, we can see that you clench and, you know, this is an issue and it's causing this issue in your mouth. And, you know, first of all, I'm like, well, kudos to you for telling me this, because this other dentist, I was going to them for years and they never told me this. So you already got me right there. Okay, because clearly this has been an issue and I never even knew. So you got me right there with that. But then she's just showing me the evidence on my teeth, and I'm like, ooh, this is bad. I mean, like, my teeth didn't look bad, but she was like, you know, we want to correct this problem. So I was like, okay. So she's like, you know, you could do the little mouth guard thing. And I was like, and I was just like, you know what? No, I like everything, mask off. I'm like, I'm doing cold turkey. I'm just gonna figure this thing out on my own. This is just what I do. That's me. I mean, you know, that's Nicole. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm always like that. So I was like, I'm gonna figure this thing out and we're gonna get this thing under control. So once she told me that, and then like in meditation, I was doing a lot of guided meditation at that time. They were like, you know, loosen up your jaw, let go of your jaw. And so I was like, okay, loosen up my jaw. And so when I started to like become aware of this, when I would loosen up my jaw, I was like, ow, it like really hurts. And I was like, man, this clenching issue is like, yeah, you have had this issue and you didn't even realize, like you literally, like Nicole, you real life have been clenching for a minute and you didn't even know. Like, just by the way it felt, I was like, wow, this hurts. Like really letting go of my jaw. I was like, this really hurts. Comment below if you know what I'm talking about. Like sometimes when I tell these stories, I be like, do other people have these experiences? Like, I don't know. So anyway, so then I started to like become aware, like, oh, this is another thing I did. So I Googled it. I Googled like, you know, what this means, like the clenching of the jaw. And then anxiety popped up. And I was like, well, of course, I always do this. I don't have that issue. This is what I always do with myself. I'm like, no, I don't think I have anxiety. So then I started reading more and I was like, no, girl, you got anxiety. You struggle with it. And it's okay. We're gonna be fine. So now I'm like, okay, I do have anxiety. And so now that I had the awareness, because as I always say, awareness is key. Once you're aware, once you know, now you could do better. Now you could be better. So once I had this awareness of, okay, I do have anxiety. This is a struggle for me. Like, I see what this is about. And part of my anxiety is clenching and tightening up my jaw and, all of that. That's a part of it. So I was like, okay, now again, I got to correct this. So now once I started to tell myself when I feel like certain things would trigger my anxiety, certain things would make me nervous. Like, I always knew we always get nervous, of course, where it's obvious. But some of us who deal with anxiety is deeper than that. Sometimes we have these deeper feelings that we know, and sometimes we're not even conscious of it. For me, it was more of a subconscious anxiety. I was not really fully aware that I was struggling with this until, like I said, this dentist pointed it out. And then it just led me into this whole situation. And I was like, yeah, I do have anxiety. So, you may be dealing with it on a subconscious level, or you may be conscious of it. You may be conscious that you do really struggle with anxiety, and you may have your steps for how you deal with it, or however, that works for you. So for me, like I was saying, it was subconscious. But now, since I knew, and after reading in the dentist, now it's conscious. Now I know what's going on. So once certain things would happen, I would get nervous about something. My first line of defense was to tighten my jaw and to clench. So I started noticing that that's what I would do. And that's what would make me feel, I guess, comfortable, or feel like, okay, I can deal with this now. You know what I mean? Like, it made me feel like I was tackling my anxiety by tightening my jaw. So once I would get triggered, I wouldn't tighten my jaw. And I just had to now deal with it. So then now I had to, now we got to go into the layers. Like, what's happening here? What's making you so nervous? Like, what are you scared of? And so now here comes fear. Like I told you before, they're twins. They're right there together. So anxiety started it off. Now fear is coming in. So now it's like, what are you afraid of? What's going on? What's making you fearful? What are you scared of? And a lot of times it was all in my mind. Like, it was really mental. It was really like mental barriers. I mean, because fear is nothing, but it's in our mind. It really is. It's all in our head. And, when people say, like, for example, I went to the bank the other day and I was talking to the banker, and she was telling me, she was like, she wanted to do some traveling, but she was afraid because this plane, it was something in the news, because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't always keep up with all the news because it's just, I don't know, it's just too much, and it lowers my vibration. It's just so negative all the time. I mean, we know it's real life events, but it just could be too much. I keep up with some stuff, but not a lot. So she was telling me about some plane crash, or the plane, something happened with the plane. And she was like, now I just don't feel comfortable with even getting on a plane. And I was like, wow, like, some of us are just, we've become conditioned to live in fear. And we've become conditioned to feel like it's okay to just be afraid to even walk out the door. Some people feel like if they're not at home, they're just not safe. And that's not true. It's not. You may not agree with me, and it's okay. We could agree to disagree, but it's not true. It's not true. We don't need to live in fear. We are safe. We are protected. And we have to tell ourselves that. And if we continue to tell ourselves that bad things are always going to happen, that's feeding the fear. That's feeding the fear and inviting more fear and anxiety inside. If you walk out the door and you think, oh God, I'm gonna get in a car accident, or oh God, somebody's gonna shoot me. If this is what you think of every single day, you're feeding the fear, you're feeding the anxiety. So that's what you're going, I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, but this is where you are mentally. And if you keep thinking like that, I hate to say it, but negative things manifest just like positive things. I'm here to tell you that right now. Negative thoughts will manifest just like positive thoughts. It all works together because I've seen firsthand for myself. I've manifested negative things that I thought. I would think, oh, hopefully this doesn't happen. Boom, it happened. Hopefully that doesn't happen to me. Boom, it happened. Like, it works together. So don't feed fear. Don't feed anxiety, because I'm telling you, they're twins and they will keep popping off. 1 minute anxiety wants to pop off with this. 1 minute fear wants to pop off with that. So literally for me, my process is when that, and I'm sorry, they're doing work in the community. I'm sorry if y'all can hear it. But when fear comes into my mind, because even now, even like making these videos, it was a fear for me. That was a real fear, because I was like, people are not going to want to, the person in my head that doesn't know anything, that person, the fear twin. People aren't going to want to listen to you. People don't want to hear what you have to say. People are going to think you're crazy. People are going to think you're a lunatic. Like, that's what fear was telling me. And then I had to just say, you don't know what you're talking about, fear twin, and I'm going to do this anyway. And literally every time, because every time I'm getting ready to do a video, I have to hype myself up. Because if I don't, fear will start creeping in and be like, you don't need to do this. No one wants to listen. No. So don't feed fear. Don't feed anxiety. Think about, what are your triggers? What are your triggers? Because once you know your triggers, then you can start to really talk yourself out of it, or, you know, whatever your process is. And we're going to be talking about more of that in other videos as well. But I'm going to stop it right here for today. Thank you all so much. I love you all. If no one told you that they love you today, I love you. I'm sending you so much love, peace, and light. Please don't live in fear. Please don't be afraid to leave out of your house. The world is safe. You are protected. You are protected. You are loved. You are loved. You are safe. You are protected. Tell yourself that every single day. Every single day. You are safe. You are loved. You are protected. Thank you so much. Again, I love you so much. Please like the video. Please subscribe. Please join the capital LOVE tribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.